Hey everyone, I am Anika and welcome to my channel. Today I'm building a really fun project for toddlers and it is for a good cause. DIY for a cure, and I will get into all of those details in a little bit, but let's get started with building. Step 1 is of course to make all the cuts, and as always I have the full cut list and detailed step-by-step plans linked in the description below. Now, September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and the DIY community is getting together to raise awareness and to raise funds for childhood cancer research. The number one cause for death by disease in children is cancer, and the average age of a child diagnosed with cancer is 6 years old. Every day, 47 children are diagnosed with cancer in the United States, and only 4% of the NIH funding goes towards childhood cancer research. Let's get back to building, and we will talk about how you can help in just a bit. For the table, we are going to be gluing up a 1x12 and a 1x10 board to build larger panels. So we're going to have one panel for the top and two for the sides. So that's going to be a total of 3 panels to glue up. I set up my clamps and applied a generous amount of glue and clamped it all together. Okay, now let's talk about how you can help raise awareness for childhood cancer while I finish the glue up. Hashtag DIY for a cure was created on Instagram, and we request that you tag your projects with this hashtag when you share it on Instagram this month. Also, if you are able to, please consider donating towards the Cancer Research Fund linked below. I will be donating all the money raised from the sales of the plants for this project and this video at the end of September to the Cancer Research Fund. So just by watching, you are helping, and I appreciate that very, very much. Okay, so we've got 3 panels for the table, and now it's time to take off any excess glue drips and sand them all down to get a nice smooth panel to start building with. Now we're ready to put this together. So I've got my tabletop right here, which is a 1x12 and a 1x10. Now this is the side, and what we're going to do is I'm gonna put it such that the 1x12 is on this side and the 1x10 is over here. So basically the seam is staggered, and then we're going to put it together. Now usually for a joint like this, I just use pocket holes and put it together, but because this is going to be convertible, it's going to be turned around, it's going to be turned upside down, I can't really hide pocket holes away. So I am going to be using Dowel Joinery to put it together. You could also use pocket holes and then fill them up and paint the piece, and no one will ever know. All you need is a few pocket holes to join it all together. But I'm going to be staining it, so I'm going to go ahead and use Dowel Joinery. To prepare for the dowel joinery, the first step is to mark exactly where the dowels are going to be. So I lined up both my boards and marked the exact location for the dowels. On the vertical board, I extended the lines onto the face of the board so that I have some lines to use to align my dowel jig to. Oh, and label each of the lines so you can keep track of the exact joints. Now originally I was trying to use the center line to align and then make 2 holes, but I found that I was getting a lot of misalignment, and then I found that the best way to have it completely foolproof was to use one of these lines and align that and make the dowel holes, and that seemed to work out pretty well. And then I clamp another board right next to it, so I can use that to support against as I make the hole. I'm using a Rockler dowel jig. This one's obsolete, but there is a new version available linked below. I went ahead and made a total of 4 dowel holes in the horizontal board, or what is going to be the tabletop. Now for the vertical board. or the sides of the table. Here I aligned the dowel jig to the mark on the face of the board and then clamped and drilled the dowel holes. Time to put it together. I applied a generous amount of glue into each of the dowel holes and to each of the dowels. And I added more glue to the other side of the joint into the dowel holes. I should have also applied glue on the entire edge, which, by the way, I came back and did that later. But I went ahead and aligned everything and put it together. The joints can be pretty tight, and I did need to use a mallet to put the entire joint together, and then the last bit was taken care of by the clamps. And I just repeated that for the other side as well. And that is the frame for the table. And then I went ahead and repeated the entire process to build the chairs as well. Now, one of the key things to remember when using dowel joinery is the depth of the bit. Now, when you're making the dowel holes in the horizontal or the face of the board, you want to make sure that the drill bit does not go all the way through. So you want to set the drill bit collar depth accordingly. But when you're making the dowel holes on the edge of the board or the end grain of the board, you want to make sure that your drill bit is long enough that it makes a hole large enough to accommodate the entire dowel. Now it's time to add the chair seat, which is super straightforward. I measured and marked 4 inches from one of the ends, applied wood glue, and added the seat. I attached the seat using finished nails from the outside. Of course, it's a lot easier to attach if you mark on the outside as well. And that is the seat. Now onto the table. Once again, I measured and marked 11 inches from one of the ends. This is where I'm going to attach a 2x2 board to act as a brace across the table. Not only is this going to be a brace for the table, it is also going to be part of the bench, which is a part of this table. I attached the 2x2s using wood glue and countersunk screws. These 2x2s can be visible when the table is used in a bench configuration. Then I went ahead and attached the board for the bench using wood glue and finished nails. Finally, I used a sander to soften all the edges and give the entire piece some finish sanding. And this is it! Each of these pieces, the table and the 2 chairs, can be used in 3 possible ways, making for a total of 27 possible combinations to use this. This here is a stool which you can turn it over to be used as a little chair. And if you turn it over again, this is a chair with a different seat height. And this table right here can be turned on its side and can be used as a little desk by itself. So you can have this little chair and a little desk, or you can use it as a bench. You can even turn it upside down and use the other side as a bench seat for a lower seat height. Once again, the detailed plans are linked in the description below. 100% of the proceeds from the plan sales for the month of September will be donated to the Childhood Cancer Research Fund. And if you would like to donate, I have a link to that in the description below as well. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, especially because all of the ad revenue from this video for the month of September will be donated as well. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Bye.